What is going on, everybody? It's Bass Now Radio once again.
Hey, everybody! Hi.
That's Lou. He's over the phone. We're doing things virtually again, just because we're in two separate places. I'm in Charlotte. You're in. Well, actually, where are you? You're in New York right now, right?
No, so I'm in. I'm about. What am I? About a half hour from my house. I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I came back. What, 2.5 weeks ago or so. Yeah. Came back for Thanksgiving. Stayed home. So the next few episodes will be apart, but we're here. We're coming to you live. Not live.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming to you from Charlotte. Next week I'll be coming to you from Rhode Island. If I make it up. By the way, are you excited about a snowstorm? Are you getting that snowstorm?
We're getting. I think we're supposed to get an inch.
Oh, we're getting like a foot. I have to beat the storm to Rhode Island.
Yeah, I think it's going to miss us just barely. I'm pretty sure it's going through New York, so it would make sense as to how it hit you guys.
Yeah, we're supposed to get clobbered. So I'm like, all right. If I leave at this time on a Tuesday, I should be able to beat the snow by like 2 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah. Because I gotta beat it going across like the U.S. So I was like, I don't want to get stuck in like Maryland.
Yeah, no. Holy crap.
So yeah, I'm timing everything. It's very nice.
Are you taking your boat home?
I am not taking my boat home, but that is because my boat is still currently broken.
Right.
And at this point, the Rhode Island lakes are going to freeze over here in the next couple of days anyways. So,
right, true.
I think it was like 60 today, and today was like the last like warm day for the next like 14 days. So,
right.
It might end up doing some ice fishing, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, I did take my boat home. I did some bass fishing 2 weeks ago. I've been busy with school and work, but I went out. I'm on my way back from the lake today up in North Jersey, and it's tough. It's getting cold. It's actually a lot warmer than we thought it would be. It was like 42, 43-ish, 41 to 43. So not too bad. We thought we'd catch them a lot better than we did. We caught 2 solid smallmouth, a little largemouth, bunch of perch and crappie. They're in my live well still. But yeah, what have you been up to?
School, work. Actually, I had a funny thing for you. If you remember a while ago, we were going through my garage and I had a broken St. Croix rod that you were going to bring home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw it and I'm like, well, I believe that day that we found it, we were like, I'm going to forget to give this to you before Christmas, and I did.
Nice. Well, maybe if you want to make a pit stop, you can take another hour out of your drive and drop it on by in New Jersey.
Yeah, my poor old St. Croix rod that my dad drove over.
Oh my God!
It don't got a rear section.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So what do we got going on? What's the slate for this episode?
You know, there's a lot of movement going on in the Elite Series. We got a lot of new guys joining, and by new I mean they're mostly all people that have transferred over from FLW, but most of them are new to the Elite Series, never fished it before, so
right.
But there are a couple guys that they're coming back from MLF. They used to be Elite guys, and they're making their triumphant return. And the better of the bass fishing organizations.
Yeah, I think the two, I think it's Hackney and Christie, are the only two that already fished the Elite Series. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So everybody else is new to at least the Elite Series.
Yes, I believe.
Cool.
I mean, Robertson's fished the Classic a couple times, but he's never been on the Elite Series. Yeah,
I think this will be his second Classic, but first time on the Elite.
And Atkins. Atkins was never on the Elites, was he?
Atkins was never on the Elite. He fished the FOW Tour, and he fished a bunch of Opens. But he's a name you're going to know. I'd say there's 4 big names that if you're somewhat into bass fishing, you but you're going to know these guys if you're somewhat into the sport.
Yeah. So let me go through. Let's talk about our first 4. Which are the overall 4. We got Brian New, Justin Atkins, Matt Robertson, and I always gonna mix up Micah Frazier and his brother.
Yeah, next year is gonna be rough with that for me. Me too.
I'm gonna forget which Frazier's which. But those were our top 4 overall for the Opens series, and all 4 of those guys are moving on.
Yep.
Out of that list, obviously most excited about Matt Robertson.
Yes.
That's going to be a great addition to the Elite Series.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Talk about a combo, like having him and Fighter, like, that's going to be a great stage one day.
Now, I don't know a ton about, who do I not know a ton about? Mark Frazier. I'm not 100. I haven't followed him too hard. I mean, obviously, he did an exceptional job in the Opens this year, but I don't know too much about him. So that's gonna be an interesting one to watch. But like you said, Robertson, New, and who's in second again?
And Atkins. Coming over
Robertson,
from the FLW series.
Yeah, Robertson, New, and Atkins. Like I said, I don't know a ton about Frazier. He might be just as good or better than them guys, but them 3 guys, I mean, I know personally are sticks. All 3 of them. You know, Atkins come through the college, was a hammer on the FLW tour. Brian New seemed to have won everything last year. And Matt Robertson, I mean, he's been catching them on the Opens all year long. Team championship.
Yeah, he won Cherokee.
Catch him.
That helped them get to that overall spot.
And second in Neely Henry.
Yes.
So that's a great top 4.
So yeah, that was our overall top 4. Now for the Centrals, we got Christie and Hackney. Those are our returning Elite Series guys. We got Kimura and Gleason.
Awesome. Now, I mean, another big 4 names. Who stands out? Obviously, I mean, you're going to say Christie and Hackney. I know. What do you think about Kimura and Gleason?
I mean, I think Gleason could do something.
I think so too.
He had a really solid year. I mean, obviously, you got to go with the tried and true people, which would be Christie and Hackney. I kind of feel like Hackney's going to come in and absolutely clobber it. Like, I think he's had a crap time on MLF circuit, and I think he's going to come out swinging next year. I think he's going to be one to watch. I think you can mark my words, he's going to be top 5 in points end of the year.
And another thing is this is what's crazy about Hackney is he's a guy that went in and fished those Central Opens with the goal to qualify for the Elite and did not go and fish the others. He didn't fish any of the Easterns. He said, I'm going to go to the Centrals. I'm going to fish my ass off. I'm going to catch them. And he sure did.
Yeah, talk about having confidence. You're like, I really only need to fish these 4.
Right. And the other thing that's notable about Hackney is I want to say, I think we're going to get to the schedule next week, right?
Yes. We're going to talk Elite schedule next week. Hopefully by that time we'll have a college series schedule to talk about. Which, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this podcast. I think we've complained about it in the last month's worth of podcasts, but there's still no college series schedule.
Right.
What that means, we can move for a second over to this. I think what that means is that we're not going to have any January or February tournaments, and I think we're going to have a June tournament at St. Lawrence. I think that's what that means.
I agree with you. Again, we'll get to this next week. I agree with you. I think that a January tournament like last year, Toledo Bend, is going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of us guys. I'll be there. I can tell you that much, but I will have some complaints for sure.
Yeah, I would just be shocked, if they really just gave us that amount of time to get stuff prepared. For those of you that don't know, there's actually a lot of prep that goes into getting to tournaments and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was our little side trip. I forgot to mention that at the beginning.
And here's getting back to the Opens, guys. Little teaser, obviously, for those who don't know about the schedule. We're going to dive into it next week. But I think an April tournament on the Sabine River is on our schedule for the Elite Series. And 2 years ago, in 2018, or 3 years ago, I guess it'll be. A one Greg Hackney won that event on the Sabine River. So definitely a guy to keep your eye on. I want to say Christie top 10 in that event as well. I mean, I think these, like you said, these guys are going to have a big year. And
absolutely.
I'm going to echo what you said with Gleason. I think he fished the Classic last year. He won an Open and fished the Classic. He fished the FLW Pro Circuit this year. Guy can catch him. He's a name to watch out for sure. And Kenna Kimura, probably one of the lesser recognized names of the qualifiers, but dude's been fishing the Opens for a long time. He's put his time in. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a splash in the way that another Japanese angler, Taku Itu, made this year. So
yeah, absolutely. He's been around for a little while. I remember you saying that at one of our previous podcasts, I think it was. So.
Yeah. Those Japanese guys, they can catch them. I don't know what it is, but man, they can catch them.
So then we'll go to the Eastern Opens. Four from the Easterns are Strassner, Mr. Scott Martin, Hamner, and local favorite from Charlotte, KJ Queen.
Yeah.
This one's I'm curious to see who you think is your standout from these four.
Well, I mean, obviously everyone's gonna jump to Martin. He's been around forever. He's, if not the most, he's I'd say top 3 most successful anglers on the FLW Tour in its history. I think you put Thrift, David Dudley, and Scott Martin as the top 3 guys to ever fish that tour. Not to ever fish it, but to just, I guess, to build a career off of it. So he's somebody. I mean, just a guy that catches them. Everybody. He's very. He's all over social media. He's got the YouTube going. He's probably the most popular pro on YouTube, I'd say.
Absolutely.
So I think that really does a lot for the Elite Series. I think he's the most important because of the audience that he'll bring to the Elite Series. That being said, Strassner, I've heard on some different people, is a guy that's been around and can catch them. I don't know if this is his first year fishing the Opens or not. I don't know if he fished the Tour. I don't know a bunch of his background other than I've heard some guys talk about him, and apparently to them it was no surprise that he's in that conversation. Hamner is, I want to say, a really close buddy to Patrick Walters. And if you're linked with that guy these days, I guess good things happen. I mean, guys, I guess the air around him these days seems to be gold. And KJ Queen, a lot of the guys that follow Elite Series and Opens aren't really going to know his name, but if you're from the Charlotte area and if you're at all interested in the College Series, you know who KJ Queen is, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him win Rookie of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him very high up in points. I mean, he hasn't hit a roadblock yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% agree with you. I actually think KJ has got a good shot at making some shit happen in the Elite Series this year. And Scott, you know, usually I would go Scott Martin, but after the year he had, I mean, I would say it was a disappointing year for him, wouldn't you? I mean, he didn't finish in the top 4 overall. He fished every event, and he didn't win any.
Yeah, Scott squeaked in. Thanks to that guy, Patrick Walters, and Pat Schlapper, which is, I mean, I could talk about Pat Schlapper because of his name for an hour. But Scott barely made it in. He made it in. He rode the back of a couple of really good tournaments. I want to say he made top 10 at Hartwell and Kissimmee. You know, a solid year. Like you said, I mean, not a huge year. He really struggled in the Centrals. So, like you said, yeah, I mean, not a crazy great year. I'm super excited about the Scott Martin story. I'm not sure I'm not sure how his 2021 plays out. I think he makes the Classic. Um, I'm really excited to see that because I think a Scott Martin Classic win. There's some other guys I'd rather see win before him, of course, but just with the history there with Roland, and I think that's kind of his whole motivation to go to the Elite Series is to fish that Classic for his dad, and I think that would just be a really really cool and emotional win. So I'm pulling for Scott. I've never been the biggest fan of his, um, but recently, ever since he jumped over and he said some really cool things about his pop, who I've always been enamored with how well he did in the early days. I mean, just dominating the sport. I'm excited to see how Scott does.
Yeah, no, you know, and then I think it's also worth noting some of the people that missed out. Um,
Yeah,
Upshaw and Latimer, who,
yeah,
I mean, Upshaw was absolutely killing it on the FLW tour
yeah.
last year, and he just fell a little short. He ended up 24th, and Latimer was 17th. I guess they're going to go back and fish the Opens again next year, I guess would be my assumption. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know
they
if
got
they go back to FLW or not, but
yeah, stuck in Opens purgatory, as they say. Yeah, I don't know what the play is there. I think you're right. I honestly I do think they stay. I think they fish the Opens. It's not like it's not like it's only 4 events. They got 8 events to fish. Keeps you pretty busy, and in a normal year they're not going to be as crammed together like they were. Um, I think they stay and fish the Opens, like you said.
yeah.
And you know what? Another name worth noting, Jacob Porosnik, an MLS guy from last year. I think he won an event. Didn't he win Raleigh?
Yes.
Um,
Yes, he did.
yeah, yeah. So that's another guy whose name is not on the MLS list for 2021. So I same thing. Does he jump into the pro circuit? Does he stay on the Opens? I think I lean what you said with Upshaw and Latimer. I think he stays in the Opens and keeps trying for that Elite Series. But another guy whose year is not certain.
Yeah, you know, another name, Keith Boucher also fished some Opens. I don't know if his plan was to move
Yeah,
over. I do believe he's still on the MLF roster for next year. But he did
right.
fish a couple. I don't know if he was just testing the waters and seeing if he could potentially qualify back in over here. But he was another guy fished the Opens. He really kind of had a tough year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's another name. Like you said, he's still on the MLS list, but you wonder what he was doing, over there, trying to, or I don't know if he was trying to qualify or just trying to make some money. I don't know. Very interesting point. I don't know. Good call. There's probably a couple guys. I feel like Matt Lee was in, I think, at least a couple Opens.
Yes, he was. He
Um,
finished 95th behind Trait Zaldane.
ah, yes. I mean, I don't know if these guys are just testing the waters. I don't know. It's an interesting call. Going to be a really interesting 2021, I think. I think a lot of those guys, the Latimers and the Upshaws of the world, I think Todd Castledine as well, he was trying. I think a lot of those guys, you don't really have to worry about them, maintaining their careers. I think they have some solid sponsorships, some good people backing them. But I just if you go 2 or 3 years on the Opens, if I'm Bill Lewis for Latimer, I don't really know who Upshaw's sponsors are. I'm starting to maybe look to some other guys.
So yeah, that's kind of like the recap of all the excitement surrounding the Open Series. As we went over a
Yeah,
couple weeks ago, Open Series really was exciting this year. So definitely excited to see what happens next year, both in the Elite
yeah,
Series and back in the Opens.
yeah. And I've got a question for you. Well, before I ask the question, I will add there's another angler off the MLF circuit for 2021 who has yet to announce anything. And you all know because we talked about it, I think last time. What's Mr. Iconelli gonna do? You
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
What's he doing?
we could see him back in the Elite Series, or we could see him go and be a
I
full-time
can,
content creator.
yeah, I can tell you that on his Ike Live show, which was I think Friday night, he did announce that in 2024 he will be in the breakdancing Olympics. So that's something to look out for.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah. But anyways, my question for you is, and I don't know because I've heard some rumors from our buddy Trevor who fished the Opens this year, the Eastern. I've heard some whispers from other places. The format for the Opens in 2021 is not locked down. I don't know if they're going to go back to an old format. I don't know if they're going to do something new again. But what did you think of this year's Opens? I think we all know what I think. I really liked it. But and another question would be, what do you think about the idea of maybe taking a spot or two away from those Eastern berths and giving one or two more to the overall or Eastern and Central? I think that the overalls shows like a little more dedication to, I don't know, like actually trying to qualify instead of just hopping in 4 events. That's my 2 cents. What do you think?
That's a tough one. I think it really does come down to like the analytics of it and how many people actually fish both Open series.
Yeah.
To take one away from each one, I could see that and adding 2 to the overall. But you also want to take away a incentive for the guys that only are going to fish one, or they only have the money to fish one.
Right.
There's definitely pros and cons to both. I agree. If you have more overall, then you're probably getting the more dedicated people. You're really finding like the cream of the crop, essentially the people that are going to actually make the Elite Series better.
Right.
Because they're fishing a variety of bodies of water across the United States, different climates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tough question. I think I would probably lean towards pulling one from each and adding to the overall. At least seeing how it goes. It's obviously something that you could reverse the year after that, but I could see it for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea with you. I mean, I've heard some whispers and stuff about some ideas about adding 2. I think you're right. I think 1 from each is fair because then you get 6 and then 3 and 3, and I feel like those are good numbers.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good question. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what they do. I at least hope there's still an overall. I hope there's still 8 tournaments. Like I said, it's really exciting to watch. I mean, great tournaments. You got live coverage on the last day. I don't know. I hope they stay the course of the Opens. I think this is the best year I remember. I mean, obviously I've been paying a little more attention too, but I don't know. Up in the air.
Yeah, obviously the Opens and the College Series schedule are pretty much the only things open and up in the air right now for the bass fishing world. So we'll have to see what comes of those 2 here in the future. Hopefully by Christmas we'll have some answers. If not, by the new year, maybe. Mm-hmm.
I hope, man. So next, I think we're going to talk about that team tournament. But I realized as we were talking about the Opens, we never even talked about the Open that determined all of this.
Yes, Lay Lake.
Yeah. What do you got for me on Lay?
Right now, nothing, because my computer's being slow.
Yeah. I can tell you, I didn't watch too much of it. I didn't pay too much attention. I think like most of the world, no offense to those who won and did well in that tournament. I think most people were kind of just watching for the same reasons I was, which is seeing who was getting in. I think KJ top 10, Brian New either top 10 or came real close to it.
Keith Carson was the winner.
Yes, that's right. Keith Carson, John Cox's buddy. I believe he won it out of John Cox's boat.
I was gonna say, I think I remember seeing that somewhere on Instagram that he was fishing out of John Cox's boat.
Yeah.
I think someone posted like this is what true friendship is, or something like that.
Yeah.
They made a little joke out of it. I was like,
unreal.
Probably true.
Unreal.
But I'm bringing up some information now. Yeah, that is definitely John Cox's boat for sure.
Yeah. I thought it was. That's hysterical.
So he weighed in 1610, 1810, and 1113.
Okay. I want to say he had a 7-pounder on day 2. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
He was fishing grass.
Okay.
Of the other one, KJ Queen fished in 10th, which is a good noticeable one. That helped him kind of get into that. He was one of the movers there that was on the bubble.
Yeah. God, that had to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being like on the bubble like that and just like, oh, actually, you know, because you did it at FLW, sort of. Where you're on the bubble and you just barely sneak it in there. You're like, oh, I was kind of close.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, what happened to me at Hartwell in that college tournament is just so tiny in comparison. But my God, yeah, talk about nervous and gut wrenching. I mean, imagine going into the last event of the season, having a shot at it, and on day 1, you go into day 2 like in the top 10. You got to be, oh man, the nerves got to be going. I can't imagine.
So yeah, Carson was running current seams or current areas with a Fritz side 5 crankbait, and then he was punching the grass with a creature hog. 1 ounce weight, yeah. So he was doing 2 different things, 2 completely different ways of fishing. But I mean, it was a good tournament, good turnout.
Yeah.
How'd our buddy Trevor do down there?
He had a tough day 1. I think he had 2 fish or something. He said he just never got it figured out. I talked to him a little bit about it, going in and afterwards, and said he switched up on day 2 and caught a ton of fish, but a lot of little ones. He said day 1 and throughout practice, he was really trying to find them up the river. Is where I believe Keith won, or at least in the river section of the lake. So yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to do the right thing. It just didn't pan out for him. And down the lake, he found a ton of fish. He said he culled a bunch of times on day 2, but I think had 5 or 7 pounds or something around there.
So let's move on to team trail.
Yeah.
Boys from Alabama, man. They know how to fish. And the fish off, which was 6 guys.
Yeah. 4
out of the 6 were Alabama Bass Trail guys, and 2 were Minnesota Bass Nation guys.
Wow.
Jordan Wiggins won.
It was Harris Chain, right?
It was on Harris Chain. Yep.
And what won the fish the team tournament part of it?
The team tournament. The team tournament part, I do not see up. They really are focused on the individual.
I think it was a pretty good weight.
Yeah, I don't see. Why don't they have those in the results? You think they'd have those in the results, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that Wiggins and Sims won it. I don't know how much they had.
I don't know how much they had either. I can tell you that their Wiggins weighed in an 8.12 on the first day.
Okay.
He was leading by 7.5 pounds going into the final day, and he won 31 with 31.9. Okay. 2-day total, which was just about 9 pounds over second place, who was Andy Walls from Minnesota. What was impressive is that he kind of struggled there on the last day. He only caught 9 pounds on the second day.
Wow.
But he just, with that 8-pounder, he had enough of a cushion between him and second place that even with all the 9 pounds on the second day, he was able to secure the victory. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's classic bound.
Yeah, for those who don't know, he will be the second Wiggins to fish the Classic. He's the brother of Jesse Wiggins, who's now on the MLS tour. Dude can catch them. Jordan Wiggins. I mean, you're seeing Micah and Mark, and now you're seeing Jesse and Jordan. Jordan Wiggins is a guy who can catch them and is known for it. I want to say he won a regular event on the Alabama Bass Trail, which is, I would say, probably the most competitive team trail in the country. They won a regular season event, him and his partner. They won the championship event, and I think they might have won the points. I mean, just an unbelievable year, and now he's going to the Classic. Crazy.
Yeah, they got it done. I mean, one of the other noticeable things was the weights. I kind of feel like this has been the story with Harris. Day one, total weights for everyone was 81.8. Day two was 48. Yeah. So really, just a weight drop. I kind of feel like that's been the story for almost a lot of the Harris tournaments that we've talked about this year, because there have been a lot of tournaments on Harris. And that's kind of been the story for Harris. It's just an extremely good day one, and then it just tapers off. Don't know if that's just how it's fishing right now or what.
Unless you go to Bryan College. I mean...
No, Bryan has been the only team that's been able to sustain that crazy bag weight.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a lot, especially in the college events, the national championship that I fished. You saw a lot of big bags day one, and they're not bad, but a serious, 6, 7, 8 pound drop off. And then you saw guys who had 6 pounds on day one and caught 24 on day two. I mean, you saw a lot of that flip flop, and I think that is somewhat a Florida thing. But I almost feel like I agree with you. It's a little it happens at a better click on Harris for whatever reason. So I think there's a lack. I mean, from what I saw when I fished there, I think there's a lack of 3-pound fish. I think there's a lot of 1 and 1.5 pound fish. I think there's a lot of 4 to 8 pound fish, and that in between, that 2 to 3 pound range. I mean, I just didn't see a lot of that, and I think that's why you have these crazy, fluctuations in weight.
Yeah, absolutely. Now he was Wiggins. He caught all his fish on one Z-Man Evergreen chatterbait.
Oh wow!
In the color of white, which I can vouch for. That's a good color to be throwing. He was throwing in eelgrass. He was kind of what was going on in LA. There was a lot of grass fishing. He said he caught all of them on a Z-Man, and I don't know. I think that is. I feel like if any bait deserves bait of the year, it's probably that bait.
I would 100% agree with you on that one.
This was definitely year of the jackhammer. We saw it in a lot of tournaments.
I would almost venture to say, bait of the last 3 years. It seems like every tournament, somebody in the top 10 is throwing a jackhammer. Every one. I mean, college, high school, freaking elite series, opens, team tournaments. I feel like every single tournament has had a jackhammer featured somewhere.
But yeah, that was the team trail. That was if I remember right, that was the last tournament of the 2020 season of bass fishing. I don't think there are any tournaments remaining to fish.
I think you may be correct about that.
I hope so because I said it.
As far as pro circuits or just notable circuits, there's no more Opens, there's no more Toyota Series, BFLs. I think are done. There might be BFLs for 21 going on now. That wouldn't surprise me. But I think as far as 2020 season goes, it's been a wrap.
So it was a good year.
An interesting year, and it seems like most people got through it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll say. I'll say.
But as for this episode, we're kind of coming to a close here. We appreciate everyone tuning in. And we'll be back at it next week, virtually once more with the Elite Series schedule, potentially the College Series schedule, but we definitely know the Elite Series schedule, and we're very excited to talk about it. So tune in to that episode for sure.
Yeah, there may be we may have a special guest on as well, so tune in for that.
Yeah, special guest potential maybe on. So if not, we might find someone. You never know. Pull some random dude off the street, start asking questions about bass fishing. Should go well.
Or we could just dial up a random number and have a random call in from we don't know who.
Yeah, Pizza Planet, something like that.
Yeah. Just, who knows?
But anyways, guys, we hope everyone has a great week, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week.
Yeah, everybody take care. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Tie lines.